What's that, Jason?
Man, you know it's the Pilot Mountains Pale Ale.
Palin's Pale Ale?
That's right, the very same.
I apologize. I have been partaking in some craftbeerclub.com beers.
Well, you're not the only one. It sounds like I have a little ways to catch up.
You sure do. Hey, folks, craftbeerclub.com. Check them out. They are sponsoring the show. God forbid.
Well, I mean, if it was up to Couch Pilots, they'd be like, but they're sponsoring the whole network, thankfully, right?
Right. Exactly. So if you go to craftbeerclub.com and put in FCF Network, all one word, into the search box, or go to fcfnetwork.com, click on the banner, $10 off your first your 3-month subscription.
That's like a month of Hulu right there with no commercials.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then free shipping.
No, they can't do that.
I'm not done.
How are they making money? You're not done?
I'm not. Do you know how heavy 12 bottles of beer is? I found out the other day.
Super heavy, probably?
Super heavy. And, yeah. So, not only that, you get a Beer Connoisseur magazine.
Right.
And then a free gift.
I forget, like what? Not like one of those Adam and Eve perverted DVD gifts, right? I don't want that.
I wish. But it's like a bottle opener or some coasters or something.
Awesome.
You can pick.
You can pick a surprise prize?
You can pick a surprise prize. That's we're made for you. But they have breweries from all over the country. We have 2 breweries that we got recently. That was the Foothills Brewing.
I just got myself a pretty sweet bottle cap from Foothills.
Did you have that one?
I did not.
All right. And quite a few others. And like I said, they shipped them to me. I thought we were going to get cans. It was a box.
Classy.
It was a brown box, so you can be discreet if you're an alcoholic and you don't want your wife to find out.
Right.
Open it up, and they give you a flyer, a front and back flyer of the brewery, kind of telling you about the brewery and about the beers that they feature. On the back, it has some beer trivia.
Oh my god, perfect.
I got all of them wrong.
But did you have fun?
I had fun.
And did you enjoy the beer?
I love the beer.
What else could you ask for?
Nothing. Craftbeerclub.com. Promo code FCF Network. Check them out. $10 off your first 3-month subscription, and then free shipping.
Nice.
All right, let's crank it up.
Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party,
I'm playing the whole thing.
invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
Ah, yes. Welcome, all my friends, to a very special episode of Couch Pilots, the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, but won't you call me the Black Centurial? And with me, as always, is my bicentennial man. It's Captain Philip Restisher. Good evening.
Good evening, my friend.
What a great evening it is.
Thank you for being a friend.
And right back at you.
Traveled these skies over and over again.
That's right.
My heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
This is great. The last time we recorded, I announced that we'd be watching the Golden Girls, and here we are, right?
Yep, episode 100.
100, we did it.
What better way to celebrate the 100th episode of our show, where we talk about failed pilots, by talking about the second best television show ever made.
The second best.
Wings, obviously, is number one.
I would agree with that, but I didn't want to poop on your parade.
Official Golden Girls fanboy.
That's a nice tumbler you got there. That's right. And drinking a Pilot Mountain Pale Ale. How do you say Pilot Mountain Pale Ale again?
Pow Mountain Pow Pow. Pow Pow Pow
Pow, pow, pow. Dale Pale Ale.
Pow Pow, guys. Pow Pow.
Oh, boy. 100 episodes. What a feat. And who has listened along the way?
Winston-Salem. That's where they killed Jews, right? Oh, no. It wasn't Jews. It was witches.
I think you think Auschwitz.
Witches.
Is there an Auschwitz beer?
Witches.
Fermented with the remains of the lost?
Could be. Might be.
And we're off to a great start. I'm so happy to be here with you, Blake.
I'm happy to be here with you.
100 episodes strong. I kept the Golden Girls a surprise for you, and we announced it, and you're barreling straight through with the theme song. I'm so excited to be here today. You're wearing the shirt. You got the glasses. We just got done as a group, and I say group because it's not just you and me today. We have guests.
Right.
And we watched the Golden Girls pilot together. Something we don't do very often on the show is sit down together and enjoy the pilot.
That's you know what I thought it brought a different atmosphere.
You're right.
To the show.
And you know what? There's four main characters. And we'll dig in a little bit this later, too. But there's four main characters on Golden Girls. We all know them. We love Dorothy, Rose, Blanche, and Sophia. But we have four people here today, too.
Now, I've always told you that I only want one person on the plane at a time, and you always say...
I say I want two.
And I never win. We always have two lately.
It's been two, the past few episodes. It's been two, and today's no exception. Two, I would say, fan favorites. Big-time repeating guests. We've got Big E. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Two of the 7 people that listen are now in the room.
Yes.
You guys have to listen to this episode. Just because you're a part of it doesn't mean you're going to skip a download.
Automatically
I'm
download.
a narcissist.
Thank you, guys.
I listen to everything that I'm on.
Oh, boy. We have so much to talk about. And then also we have with us is the host of Drunken Lullabies and Drunken the Movies. It's Dustin, the voice.
Hey, dapper casting it up for your guys' 100th episode.
You're looking so fly.
100th flight. I had to come in a time.
You are dapper. And let me tell you, I have something to tell you to celebrate our 100th episode here on Couch Palettes. I finally, today, fixed the Drunken Lullabies promo.
I heard it on
yes.
And you will now have
on this week's show.
The brand new one is now on the tablet. As long as you don't take my tablet tonight home with you and erase it, we'll be okay.
I will not be interrupting your show. Hi, this is the voice from Drunken Lullabies.
Live
Trying
and in
to get
person.
that extra plug in
No.
every week.
Only one plug at a time. That's what my mom taught me.
Hey.
Wow. What a cool mom.
Hey-yo.
So we had a lot to do today, celebrating the 100th episode, doing something out of the norm, watching a show, because that's our MO, right, is watching television shows that had only one episode, right? Kind of dissecting that, saying, these are the shows that time forgot, but I'll be goddamned if anyone has ever forgotten the Golden Girls. Am I right?
Never forget.
never.
Just like
Harambe.
9/11.
Like Harambe and
9/11.
I can't believe we lost him in 9/11. Can you
And the
guys?
birth of baby Jesus.
all on the same day. The unholy trinity of terror attacks. So we're talking about the Golden Girls, and it's a show that you love, Blake. It's a show that you often mentioned that you wanted to do a Golden Girls podcast.
And that's Couch Palettes was actually spawned from that because I said we were talking about what kind of podcast should we do, and I was like, let's do a Golden Girls podcast, and you said no.
I said, no way, Jose. And partly because
you're Spanish.
mainly because I have a Hispanic background.
Wait.
Jose.
No way, Coco.
But then we looked around, and there's like 50 Golden Girls podcasts. So, I mean...
We won't mention any names.
No, and we thought we'd be lost in the fray there. But thank God we did. We went our own way and forged our own trail and got the legions of fans that we did.
So it sounds like you guys are the empty nest of podcasts.
We're a spinoff. That's good.
We're going to talk about that for sure. We got a lot of interesting facts today, and I've got a surprise concerning the interesting facts. And I've got a huge announcement.
Betty White is here?
Betty White is...
Thank you, craftbeerclub.com.
Right.
for lying her in. She had to have 2 seats, one for her boobs and one for her body.
So she laid sideways?
She did. No, she took them off. They're holstered.
She was laying sideways because I was pounding her.
But we've this is, Golden Girls, a wildly successful television show. It ran for 7 seasons. They had 177, 180 episodes, something like that. So it's well out of our wheelhouse, but something special we're doing for today's episode. So we got some special things planned for that, and we also have a big announcement that no one knows about that I have at the end of the show as well. So
it's our last show. He's quitting.
It's done.
Once you hit 100,
there's no. That's it.
Yeah.
We got the syndication money now, right?
We should have stopped at 99.
light the match and walk away.
That's right. But something else it's kind of coincided, an unexpected eclipse, if you will, is the aftermath of CouchCon. I want to talk about that at the top of the show because it's a big event that we had recently at the Ramada Inn in Folsom, California. You a couple weeks ago, you mentioned the itinerary, wildly descriptive. A lot of fun things happened over the course of a few days. Not only were you and I there and headed up the event, but we also have a few of the participants right here in the room with us. So I thought today would be a good opportunity to talk to everyone about the events at CouchCon, your experiences, and also dig into some of the fan responses of their experiences as well.
Sounds great.
So let's kick it off, right? I mean, it was October Tuesday the 17th, right?
October 17th.
Yep.
A day that will live in infamy.
Yeah, just like Harambe and 9/11 and the birth of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. So very excited to dig into that. Captain, rest assured, we arrived to Folsom, California.
Right.
We had seen pictures. We knew what the ballroom looked like. We had schematics, but we didn't know exactly what we were getting into until we set foot in the door.
Exactly, and you can look on our Instagram because Instagram. On the 16th, the night that we got there to the Ramada Inn, I took a picture and hashtag CouchCon 2017. A lot of selfies were taken in front of the hotel and stuff, and we didn't expect so many people to be there the night before.
It was like a big tailgating. A lot of people camping out, waiting in line to get in. I think that a couple cars were turned over and fires started, which was
and there was
unfortunate.
a lot of cosplay going on. I mean, how many Jason and Blakes did you see?
I talked to 5 different people I was convinced were you.
Oh, really?
And I was telling, I always tell you my internet passwords to things, and I was telling these guys my internet passwords. So I've had to change a lot of passwords.
Sure.
But fun nonetheless.
Girls streaking and everything. Big E, you were one of the presenters.
Yes.
On that day. First of all, what did you think of the sausage links?
They were very juicy.
The breakfast?
Oh yeah.
Well, how about the ones at lunch?
They were juicy too.
How about the ones at dinner?
Very juicy.
Nice.
But
I wanted consistent juiciness.
you had to wear eye protection.
We had a lot of things to juggle that day.
Every single sausage.
Once you puncture one of those casings and the juice squirts out. Sexy.
Hot juice.
Now I know you're a married man. You have a beautiful wife who you've been married to for a long time that lets you do whatever you want to do.
And do you have a nickname for her by chance?
Ava Gabor. Ava Braun.
How many? I mean, because if me or Jason talk about it, people are going to think, oh, they're just trying to toot their own home. How many beautiful women were at this convention?
There was a lot of beautiful women at this convention. Yeah, it was crazy. I did, like you guys mentioned.
You did what?
Like you guys mentioned a couple weeks ago, I did my section nude.
Yes. As we often talk about on this show, people who listen to the show are frequent flyers. They accumulate frequent flyer points for a variety of goods and or services rendered.
Surprise prizes.
Absolutely. That's one of them. And now koozies coming up soon, right?
You know it.
And to calculate all this stuff, we need a pachinko machine. It's this non-electrical 7,000-pound device. It's all gears and punch cards. It's an ancient device. And there's 3 of them in existence. And thankfully, we have the second one, thanks to Big E.
Yes.
And you made a movie about your trek to the bottom of the North Atlantic against... who was it? It was the who was it? James Cameron. Right? Yeah. So I don't know if you can talk a little bit more about that and why you chose to be naked throughout so much of the film.
Well, because it was in the water,
right?
And it went clothes wet, so I was naked the whole
Smart.
time. Shot it all on the iPhone. Used iMovie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then I was naked. I even did the presentation naked.
I was there.
And that's why I had
for continuity purposes.
I was one hand.
Don't want to confuse anyone.
I was surprised how many chubby chasers.
Yeah.
And barrelophiles
I was counting on it.
that were there.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was trying to do. I was head of security and doing that. So I'm kicking them with one foot, doing the presentation. It was crazy.
Are you sure you were kicking him with your foot?
And that was kind of an oversight on our part to make you do security for your own event. So we apologize for that.
But it was great turnout.
A lot of people. You had a Q&A afterwards. Yeah. What was some of the oddest questions that you were asked concerning the video?
The oddest questions was what I did to get rid of James Cameron.
I think I missed that actually.
I think I went to the bathroom during that.
Yeah.
Blake and I went to the bathroom at the same time together for reasons we're not going to get into.
Safety purposes. We didn't have their security with us. We had 2 is safe.
Oh, that's right.
I couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
I just can't.
Okay, but that is a question that was asked of you. Okay,
yeah, I couldn't dive
and
into
you
that.
honestly
I have no idea what happened to him.
Okay.
I just
Stop
showed up.
winking at me so much. Just so you know something.
I just showed up one day in the what ocean was that again? Because I forget. Atlantic, right?
The North Atlantic. That's
North Atlantic. Yeah,
you were there.
He was there, and then one day he wasn't there.
Okay, that's suspicious.
He just wasn't there.
Just when you think all the loose ends have been tied up concerning the whereabouts of the pachinko machine and the literal arms race you're in with James Cameron, another mystery pokes its head.
Yeah, he just disappeared.
How did you end up doing at the ping pong tournament?
Ping pong tournament.
DSJ whoop you?
He whooped me.
Yeah.
Did we give away any frequent flyer points?
No.
I don't think we did.
DSJ came in and was just like...
It was like you guys said. It was just like it was
Forrest Gumpian?
Forrest Gumpian. It was crazy.
Yep. I'm just going to paraphrase him. He just said that he kicked everybody's ass.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's right in having said that.
Right. Dustin, you didn't have any you didn't have any responsibilities.
I appreciate you guys not putting anything on my docket that I had to run, but I still ended up getting my mitts in because I can't just be a spectator. Sure. I'm used to being constantly busy.
Got to get in that spotlight, baby.
Yeah, I gotta have my time to shine. But I did appreciate you guys having the 8 a.m. happy hour.
Yeah. Sure.
You thought when you first came to me, you were like, "Is that too early? Are you okay with drinking at 8 a.m.?" And I'm like, "Does the day of the weekend and why?"
Nice.
Yes,
it
does.
I get it.
I'm good to go. So we kicked things off properly. I brought some beers that we got from craftbeerclub.com. I brought some beers from Distill. We had some Iron Spike Dead Man's Double, and a lot of the people hadn't had those because
you know what? If I would have known then what I know now, I wouldn't have drank so much of it. I would have taken some home with me.
Yeah, and because they can't get a lot of those out in Cali,
Right.
so we wanted to share, and everybody had a good time. They were nice and loose. We had an impromptu paper airplane flying contest,
Right.
That was brutal.
and it
Very
was
laborious.
It was a round robin, single elimination. But we
Took
also
forever.
we thought about doing strip rules, but then Big E kind of got that taken care of, and there was enough nudity in the event that we didn't need to do strip
Right.
paper airplane.
He met the quota pretty quickly.
who ended up winning that? Because I got knocked out first round.
I got DQ'd because I couldn't make one, so I just crunched it up in a ball and threw it.
Oddly enough, it was surprise guest. I had no idea he was showing up. Chet Waffles came in and stole the show.
Wow.
You know what? That motherfucking guy. I
time, dude, he's the
Chet
best.
Waffles, man.
Shows up everywhere. You cannot
Jesus.
stop him.
God, I love Chet Waffles.
Incredible.
So yeah, he popped up. He was in Vegas, I think he had said, for a wedding.
Of course.
And
Of course.
looked at the calendar as like, oh yeah, it's CouchCon. I'll just stay over a couple days. Made the trip.
Yeah,
to Folsom.
makes sense to me. About 4 hours away.
Ex-girlfriend of mine, Zena, she got married in Vegas not too
Warrior
long ago.
You dated a woman named Xena?
I sure did.
I feel like we've heard
Great
so many...
kisser.
Okay.
Awesome kisser, right?
But
But she had the stankiest cooch you've ever smelled. It was so gross.
I think Big E has a saying concerning that, right?
Yeah.
And what is that saying?
It smells like cologne. Leave it alone. It smells like fish. Eat all you wish.
Yeah, I didn't eat all I wished. It was gut wrenching.
One of the highlights.
Yeah, draft
though,
off of that.
was
Yes, and
was the captain's concubine Q&A and autograph signing. I have an Angie Vecchio 8x10 now on the Drunken Lullaby studio wall that will live in infamy next to LeVar Burton and Robert England.
That is the exact place you put that picture. That's right.
I didn't think she would show up. I was surprised, but she came. She was very
She came. She talked all about.
Yeah, she was.
She came all right.
Was
guys.
that complete with the rest assured mushroom stamp of approval?
She was. At first I said Biggie. I said keep an eye on her if she starts to get mouthy or lippy or
With a name like Vecchio, you would expect it.
right. But we didn't seem to have any problems, and we talked later on that night.
Did she have that limp before you met her?
Oh no, I caused that limp.
You caused the limp. Did you you separated the hips a little bit?
Yeah, her mom said when I met her mom for the first time, she's like, my daughter doesn't have child rearing hips. And I said, I'll take care of that.
Give me 10 minutes.
It was crazy that she still smelled like filet of fish after all these years.
You broke that hymen. And
Yeah.
Oh boy, so many great events. Do you have any highlights?
I always liked having sex with her when we both worked the morning shift because she smelled at least more like sausage as opposed to fish fillet.
So you prefer your ladies more like
Yep.
pork than
Yep.
yeah. All right.
I'm a pork guy myself.
You like to pork them?
I like to pork them. Pork them, Dano.
Pork of Dano?
I wish you guys were laughing because it was funny. You're listening more because it was ridiculous. It wasn't witty.
pork.
It was just ridiculous.
Who's ever said Porkum Dano? That's pretty funny.
Show title?
We don't do that. Captain Philip, rest assured, do you have any moments that kind of stuck out to you to say this is the epitome of what we're doing?
there's so many things that happened when we did our live show, our secret show, which only the people that were there got to check out.
It was fantastic.
We got to keep it hush hush though, because
Yeah.
we might have to use it for a Patreon.
Gotta keep it on the down low.
But when we got done with that episode, and the outro played, and everybody stood up and was clapping.
Not a dry eye in the room.
And there was a tear by everyone, and they were just clapping like it was just like
the
slow
80s
bell clap.
slow clap,
Yeah.
a la Lucas.
And I
Lucas,
felt
that's
a
right.
warmthness
Great movie.
in my heart, and I was like, all of these people, there's more that I can count.
They're here for us, but they're also here to experience something.
Right.
It's like getting married, right? It's like everyone in that room became one.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
and you know what? By the end of it, I had a tear in my eye too.
How about you? What was a couple of highlights
all
for
cried.
you?
Well, when we had that Q&A and we Skyped in Dee Dee,
Yeah.
I think that was probably my favorite part of the whole
Sure.
show is having, because we everyone that we talk about in the show was there. Everyone.
Right.
You had your Tylers, you had your Lori Garcias, who actually did a presentation, and then the only person that really couldn't be there that I would consider a mega fan was Dee Dee, because she was across the pond, as
Right.
they say, and couldn't be there, so we Skyped her in. And it was fantastic to get to talk to her, and she actually got a standing ovation as well.
Exactly. And at the dance, when we had the dance that night, I actually had my laptop,
Right.
and we were Skyping, and I danced with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did I did a little slow dance with her.
And I'll say there, I shed a tear there as well.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, I cried almost nonstop for those 2 days for reasons that my doctor says I honestly can't get into it.
Are you sure? Are you sure you can't? This is probably the perfect place to.
I'm on a lot of medication right
Penis
now.
falling off?
My penis fell off, and so I'm just crying a lot as a result of that. Yeah.
I would too.
How'd you know?
Yeah,
He's got a big hole.
I know things.
He's got a big hole he lets other people.
Speaking of Lori Garcia,
Right.
We do have a voice, and about your experience. I think I'm going to put the two and two together here. We do have a voicemail. I hate to cut,
No, that's fine.
the fan feedback section, but we do have a voicemail from Lori Garcia that I think you might want to hear.
Yeah, a lot of us here, obviously all of us experienced, and we're talking about it in real time now, but thankfully we asked people to call in and share their experiences so we could play on the show, and this is what this is.
And you can
right?
still call in. I mean, we're not just doing this one time. I mean, if you,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Over the next few weeks, if you want to call in, let us know. We'll play it. We'll talk about it.
Here we go.
Hello, fellow passengers. This is First Lady of Air Force One reporting on my experience with CouchCon. I arrived early to report to Blake and Jason on my presentation. I was instructed by Blake that my speech needed to be reviewed beforehand by Jason, and that I needed to go to his hotel room. So when I arrived at Jason's room, he was just wearing just a bathrobe, and then asked if I could give him a body massage while he was lying on the bed. So when I told him that I didn't feel comfortable with that, he then, sat on a chair and then opened his robe and exposed his naked body and proceeded to masturbate in front of me while he was more like mashing his half-erect dick. But anyhow, while he was doing that, he was discussing, how Blake should be in the corner beating off. So then when I asked Jason when we were actually going to be discussing the whole convention, his retort was, there's no convention, it's just us sugar tits. And then he offered me a glass of wine and then told me that his personal heroes were Bill Cosby, Jared Fogle, and Harvey Weinstein. And then he also mentioned that he got pointers from Michael Jackson and the Art of Seduction. At this point, that's when I bolted out of the room. And while I was running, I could hear him screaming down the hallway like Bateman in American Psycho, screaming how he grabs every girl by the pussy. Overall, it could have been worse. 5 out of 10. Would do again. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
A lot to respond to there.
Wow.
This is going to say, what are you, Harvey Weinstein?
Great voicemail, yeah. So much to respond to there.
I believe it.
Which part? The whole thing?
The whole thing.
You know what I believe most?
I believe you. Hashtag I believe you.
Yeah. And I believe her, too. I think all that did happen.
I'm just surprised she stayed the rest of the whole other day and a half.
I'm surprised that, because I told her in confidence that her nickname was Sugar Tits, so it's kind of surprising to me that not only did she say that, but that you played that. I feel like it's damning evidence.
Hashtag me too, like today on Facebook.
Yeah.
Obviously I told her in our private meeting that is not
shut
so
the fuck
private.
up? No.
I told her to shut her fucking mouth. And,
Shut your fucking mouth and get on this dick.
These nuts.
but obviously there was a convention, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
I was just trying to get her to stay in the room. And
I certainly wasn't there to watch you masturbate.
You are in the minority, my friend. So, Did all those things happen exactly the way she said them? Sure. Do I feel bad about them? Sure.
You do?
No. Okay. No, not really. But what can I say? I'm evil incarnate. You know. I don't know.
So you're Brock Lesnar?
Is that what they say about him?
He's the beast incarnate. But.
Okay. Well, maybe he'll masturbate with me in the corner then. I don't know how else to respond to that, other than it's 100% accurate, and I'm glad she called in and made her way out to... actually, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump from her house. I assume,
Yeah.
So,
I don't know why she even stayed the night there. She could have, she got a room and paid all that money, but I guess it was just the whole experience being able to be there, because she could have just stumbled home. It's only like 15 minutes from there.
Stumbled home.
It was like three... Yeah. There's like... Well, because you'd pound her so hard.
Also, we had those 2 happy hours.
Yeah,
that helps.
I thought it was very, very a perfect idea to have 2 of them.
There was a
Well,
lot.
yeah,
Of,
totally.
You got to bookend the day, right?
There's a lot of booze flowing that place.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with flasks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I was like, hey, let's be presentable here, people.
Well, what do you expect out of Jacob?
That's very
Did you
true.
guys see him pull that flask out of his beard?
Yeah.
That was incredible.
It was.
amazing.
He had like it was like rubber banded to his under chin,
Captain Lou Albino.
and then
style?
it just kind of like
Albino
swings out.
throwback.
Yeah.
Call back.
Oh, mercy me. Thank you, Lori Garcia. Even though I will probably be put in front of a court of my peers. We will give you frequent flyer points for that.
Yeah, definitely. You're gonna get frequent flyer
If the rope
points.
doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah, let's cover that robe in blood and then wash it and see what happens.
Do you want to do another voicemail and then we'll just go straight into the show? I mean, we have a lot of fan feedback, but we can save that for later on.
Let's hear one more. Yeah.
All right, I think we'll try this one.
Hey guys.
No, we won't do that one because you're here.
I'm here, yeah.
Sorry, let's do this one.
Hi, this is Nigel, and I was at your convention, if that's what you want to call it. I just want to say I did not have an appropriately good time. I was just expecting cosplayers and celebrities, and I did not see any of them. I mean, your podcast makes it sound like you're so amazing, but really, I was disappointed. Okay? I wanted to see skimpy cosplayers and touch their butts, but all I saw was people dressed up as planes, and it made me very sad. I was looking at the store, and I did not get any ass. I will not be attending your convention next year, but I love your show and everything you do. Keep it up. Okay, bye.
Okay, I didn't quite get who the name of that person was. They do need to get a new carrier for their cell phone service.
I think he said Nigel.
Nigel
Nigel
Tufnell from Spinal Tap, I believe.
Oh, that was who that was?
I think so. That's the only Nigel I know.
From Spinal Tap. Wow, awesome.
I didn't see him there. A lot of people we couldn't get to. I mean, the autograph session, the line.
I thought I saw Lin-Manuel Noriega there.
It could have been.
I think
he could have been.
He might have been there.
He was invited.
He wasn't throwing
didn't
away a
RSVP.
shot. I know that.
No, he would never throw away a shot. We'll do one more voicemail here.
Man, pilots, you did it again. CouchCon. How about that? Fantastic time. This is your good buddy Kevin Clark from Let's Try This podcast. Just wanted to wish you guys well for CouchCon and everything, and I mean, you guys pulled it off.
Oh, what'd I do?
Well for CouchCon and everything, and I mean, you guys pulled it off again. The T-shirts were great. I'm just so happy to be a part of this. Happy CouchCon 2017. We'll see ya.
All right, it's Kevin Clark from Let's Try This.
Appreciate that. That's some frequent flyer points coming your way. That's someone right there. That's the sound of someone who's ready for next year's.
Exactly.
CouchCon.
He's already. I think he said that because he got all the shirts made for us, and he was pretty much in charge of like all the merchandise.
He's our merch guy.
He had all these ideas for next year's merchandise: hats, girls' panties with our faces on them.
Right. Well, I'm going to be in the front. You're going to be in the back. Is that right?
I'll take it in the back.
All right.
Ooh.
I mean, I'll put it in the back.
You know what I
Jay's in the
especially
tank.
liked was his butt plug, the butt plug with the propeller on it.
That was cool.
That was a good idea.
I like that. But the bad thing about it, like the prototype takes like 30 AA batteries. I don't know
It's
how
so
that's gonna
heavy,
work.
you can
Yeah.
barely pick it up and put it
Barely
in
get in your butt.
Yeah. Isn't that the way with most things, I find?
One plug at a time, as my mother said.
One plug at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime. What I thought was really cool is at the end of Wednesday, when we had all like the other little stuff, at the end of Wednesday, the people that were still there we all walked over and went to Folsom Prison and went through the museum and stuff. That was kind of cool.
That was great. So
and
thank
DSG
you.
kept singing Johnny Cash songs.
Yeah. So thank you. It was a great time. Thank you, Lori Garcia. Thank you, Nigel from Spinal Tap. We appreciate it. Even though you didn't have a good time, we're gonna do a little bit of retribution.
Please get a better cell phone service, or don't do it in your car.
And then also, and thank you, Kevin Clark, so much. So yeah, keep the feedback coming in. We got some more that we're gonna play next week, and if you want to add to that, pile it on, man. We want to hear it.
Pile it on. I got it.
See what I did there?
Nice. High five that shit.
Let's board it.
Boarding.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Usually we take to the skies and discuss a very specific kind of television program, those with only one episode. However, as we said before, our flight is diverted and we have a layover for our 100th episode.
Nice. I like that.
Today we discussed the pilot
Such a
episode.
wordsmith.
Oh, I try. Thank you. Today we discussed the pilot episode of The Golden Girls from the year of our Lord 1985. Great year.
That's an awesome year.
Very good.
Did the Cardinals win a World Series that year?
Sure, they probably did.
Probably they did.
85 Bears.
They were in the World Series, but they lost to the Kansas City Royals on a controversial call.
Yes, that first
the 85
first
Bears.
boss. The Bears shuffling crew.
That's right. Jim McMahon, Ed McMahon.
My love of rap music began that year.
Yeah. You know what? I stand by it to this day. They say in the rap video that they were not there to cause any trouble. I think that they were there to cause trouble.
did.
Do you?
I believe so.
Time travel was invented.
Was that?
Yeah.
Doc Brown developed the flux capacitor.
That was in 85?
In 1985.
Wow.
But it was, never mind. You know the story.
No, I don't.
does.
I've never seen it.
Oh, that's spoilers.
Never seen that show before.
Spoilers.
Oh, boy. And as we do, and we've a little taste of it right there of going back in time, discussing the things that happened in that year. We'd like to put our minds back in 1985. Did this show, unlike any of the other shows, run for 7 years? You bet. But today we're talking about the pilot specifically of Golden Girls. Mm-hmm. So let's go back to the year that was released. And again, it was 1985. Let's talk about some things that happened. TWA Flight 847 is hijacked by Hezbollah. Gesundheit.
Mm-hmm. Hezbollah. Was that like ISIS before ISIS?
Yeah. It's pre-ISIS.
Pre-ISIS.
It's it literally translates to Party of Allah or Party of God or Party of Five.
Right. I don't remember that. See, I was 10, so I don't know necessarily I was watching like nightly news or anything.
That's almost all I watched at 10. You did not do
really?
That, yeah. Yeah. Because that's funny you mentioned. So you were 10 years old. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
And so I was 4.
I was 11.
I was also 4.
That's right. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
4
golden
and
birthday.
4.
That equals 8. Right on.
It's an Islamic political party. It's a militant group based in Lebanon, and it was founded in 1985. So the year this pilot came out, they said, you know what? To celebrate the release of Golden Girls, got to hijack a plane.
Hijack it.
Did you ever watch Greg the Bunny? Short-lived.
That was a Seth Green, I believe.
Yes.
I never saw it, but
They
I was
had a
aware.
guy named Count Blah, and the Hezbollah.
Hezbollah.
That's just what I thought of.
Never saw it. It was the puppet, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it as good as it sounds?
Definitely.
The popular comic strip Calvin and Hobbes debuts in newspapers, and so does the traumatic experience of a little boy has dementia. I think is the.
I thought it was a lot older than that. I didn't realize.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You're
thought
thinking
it was,
of Peanuts.
So,
no, I'm not thinking of Peanuts.
So the birth.
Family Circus.
Are you thinking of Family Circus Peanuts?
No.
So the birth of
Beetle Bailey.
Calvin pissing on the Cardinals or pissing on Ford. Sticker was born in 85.
That's right. That's right.
Right on.
Now the whole thing is that it's just a stuffed animal, right? And
Correct.
then okay, so
He
but
uses his imagination and has all these adventures with this tiger.
is it as simple as that, or is the young man crazy?
He's nuts.
I would think he's crazy.
Certified.
We'll never know. He stopped making the comic strip.
Someday, maybe him and the Far Side guy Gary Larson will get back together. Huh?
Yeah.
Do something cool.
Were they dating?
They were dating, yeah. So maybe they'll get back together. Route 66 is removed from the United States highway system.
Blasphemy.
Is that
is
route
blasphemy.
or route?
Where are you supposed to get your kicks?
On Route 66.
But after 85, where are you supposed to get your kicks? If they removed it,
You can still drive on it.
Stone Country?
It's still there.
Stone Country, local bar, yeah. I thought maybe just a prostitute.
They just renamed it. And I mean, you could
No,
still-
is it one of those things? Can you still go on the whole highway, or is it broke
you
up?
can, kind of, because
Yeah,
Freckles and I are actually talking about doing that in a couple years.
Come on, years.
But
when she gets
when
her
she gets old
license.
enough.
High five that.
Set it up, knock it down.
That never gets old. Neither will she.
But you can kind of recreate it. But a lot of the original road is they've just made the interstate part
right next
of
to it
to connect it. But there are some parts where you can drive on the original road. It's a lot of frontage roads, and it goes through towns. It'll take you forever.
Right.
But yeah, you can kind of do it.
It spanned a total.
Fun fact: my mother did take that road to California when she was like 18.
Did she?
Yep.
It's a total of 2,448 miles in length, running from Chicago, Illinois, to Santa Monica, California.
It would be fun, though. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
It would be a good time.
Definitely. You could see a lot of cool roadside attractions.
I would like to go take a 55 Chevy and go on it.
What about a 66 Chevy?
Okay.
I'd like to stop in that little town and Cars, the first Cars.
Oh,
Silver
yeah.
Springs? Or
The
whatever.
Silver Springs.
Yeah.
Silver Springs?
Silver Spoons.
Silver something.
No. To rule the
Ricky
world.
Schroeder was there.
Yes, with his toy train.
Good looking boy.
Love that train.
Good looking boy.
Why wasn't that on in the morning?
What's that?
Oh, geez, that was a callback to the
To a very
couple
recent
months,
episode, yeah.
Exactly.
Usually we say, first of all, I'm back in 1985.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get that
Oh,
out
yeah,
of the way.
completely.
I'm in my head's in 1985. I'm ready to digest
I got
something
my
that was
jeans
created.
tight rolled.
Yeah. What else? What was the fashion of the day for you, Scott?
Tight rolled jeans.
Pretty much it. No top.
Cut off shorts.
No top still.
With
No,
the pocket,
no top. Literally
with
no
the,
top.
With the pockets showing.
With the pocket showing. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. What we were 10s. We were. Where were we?
You were 10.
We were
I was 11.
We were at Parkview.
10. Yeah.
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 What was the fashion of the day for you? I know at one point you said you had
That's what
Vans
I mean. You
with
started. That's what I
parachute
mean. You
pants.
started hanging out. It was
Yeah.
right about that time.
Yeah, it had to be right about that time.
About
Yeah.
that time. So you
Oh,
guys,
I had parachute pants.
what brought you guys together? Was it Golden
Airwalks.
Girls?
Airwalk shoes. I had Airwalks.
Yeah.
Those are around
I
in
don't know what. I
85.
forgot.
Yes.
I know I spent a lot of time over at Blake's house. It wasn't usually ever mine. It was usually always yours.
Right.
And we went to hockey games.
Went to a lot of
I went
hockey
to
games.
Riverman.
A lot of
Friday
Riverman
nights,
games?
yeah.
That was when the Hardee's was open in Creve Coeur because
Yeah.
it's by the house.
Yeah.
It was catty corner from the house, and now
was.
It's a liquor store.
it's a liquor store.
Yeah.
Still got that
The
classic
good old
Hardee's
days.
look.
Good old days.
So once we put our minds back in 1985 or whatever year we're talking
there.
about at the time, we say, why did we choose this pilot? But today it's a little different, right?
Oh, it's very different. There is no the only criteria is because it's the second best television show ever made.
I have here because you love it so much.
That's why I didn't want to
I
be.
mean, it doesn't meet any of them.
I didn't want to be cocky and
the
selfish.
only
and
one,
say it's because
the
I
only
like
one,
it.
the only one it might meet is that you can find it.
It is on
It
YouTube,
cost
I
him-
believe.
It cost him money to watch it.
Well, I mean, we did just all watch it together on Hulu, so we could get a decent definition of it. But
Yeah.
it is, I believe, it is on YouTube for free, so people can watch it. You know what to do to.
Yeah, you used to too.
And that's basically it, because we usually have 3 requirements, but we're throwing that out for this episode, doing
Out
something
the
a little
window.
special.
So instead, do you want to? Can you hear that? Or is that just me?
It's just you.
Okay. Instead of the 3 criteria, there's 4 of us. Do we
Yeah.
want to go through now, or do you want to wait to go through and see if we can figure out who is which character?
I thought we'd do it at the end.
Okay,
Because we can
okay,
kind of go through
okay.
the show.
I have an idea.
I have
yeah.
an idea, too. I thought we would just kind of plow through the pilot and say, now that we have an idea of who these characters are,
Okay.
let's put them on.
Much
All
like
right.
Blake wants to plow through
Betty White.
Betty White.
So where can you find the Golden Girls pilot episode to watch for yourself? You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in the show notes, or you can go to YouTube, and you know what to do, Tube.
I do.
I know what to do too. I've been doing the tube for a long, long time.
You
Good.
can go to Hulu,
And you know what to
Sulu.
And it's,
from Star Trek?
it's the Zulu Nation. Africa Mbata.
Go for it, buddy.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Taking off into the skies. 100 episodes, 100 DSJs, right?
Oh, love DSJ. Mad props to DSJJR, who is crawling now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him crawling on the tarmac yesterday.
Unfortunately,
Has this ever been addressed? Does he have all his chromosomes?
Who?
DSJJ.
It's too early to tell.
how-
It's too early to tell.
yeah, you can't
There's
tell.
hope.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that smile on his that permanent smile on his face.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
He's got a beautiful smile. I'll tell you that much.
But we just can't tell. I mean, his eyes are the normal distance apart right now.
And as far as I know, like chromosomes are so small, you can't really even count them. So
all right.
take that into consideration. Summary of the pilot. 4 previously married women live together in Miami, sharing their various experiences together and enjoying themselves despite hard times.
Perfect.
Well, we talk about hard times.
Hard times. Hard times for these old ladies.
Perfect summary.
That makes me so happy. You know, like, what would be the worst thing I could do is deliver this Golden Girls on a plate, a silver platter to you, and then you say, no, I don't care for that summary.
Right. As of right now, that silver platter, I'm doing lines of Coke off of it. So right now it's perfect.
Yeah. Is that your,
Miami.
Is that the best thing like you could think of?
Miami in the 80s.
Yeah,
Welcome to Miami.
Yeah.
Mosquito Miami.
Love that song. God, you know what I really love? DJ Jazzy Jeff.
And the Fresh Prince?
No, just
DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah.
Just DJ Jazzy
Just
Jeff.
the DJ.
I like him because he's on the ones and he's also on the twos.
Yes, he is.
That's how I like my DJs. Interesting facts. Now, this is a part of the show we're going to do a little differently this time because most times we say, here's the facts. We don't want to sully experiences of other people around us, so don't say anything about the facts. Just take them in, absorb them. Just close your eyes, maybe get in a huddled position in the corner so no one knows how you feel about them because you're going to ruin the experience for someone else. Today, I say mother fudge that. We're going to discuss how interesting all these facts
We're
are.
throwing the fucking rules out
the rules
window
are out
today.
This is a special
Up
episode.
is down. Cats and dogs are getting married.
We're free balling it. At least I guess I should have just.
No, we all have no underwear on.
That's for Tom Petty. Free ball on Tom Petty.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Rest in Parkinson.
Rest in Petty.
Original release September 14th, 1985.
September 14th.
Yeah. This is a show they said
September 14th.
This is the beginning of the new season. We're not going to throw this pilot in the summer where it's a piece of shit and no one's going to watch it. This is going on prime time at the beginning of the season. We have full faith in this show.
That was literally a week before, like almost a week right before my 11th birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
This was followed by the Golden Palace. Are you guys aware of this?
It's a Chinese restaurant, right?
That's right. They have a Peking duck that is out of this world. But there's also the same name of it's a spin-off show of the Golden Girls that featured some of the same characters, and it's kind of the 8th phantom season of the Golden Girls. And so that was they bought a hotel or something, and they ran the hotel.
What was the name of it again?
The Golden Palace.
Well,
Okay.
And what happened was Stan had owned that hotel, and then they somehow Stan and Dorothy ended up going in and buying this toward the season at the end of season 7. So I can see where it comes from because for some reason that I can't figure out it was to get out of paying taxes or something. But Stan and Dorothy, Stan's
the bald kind of bald
the
guy.
ex-husband of
Right.
Dorothy. Yeah.
Right.
So spoiler alert. So that's probably where that came from.
And as we mentioned before we started,
Did that go? How long did that go?
that was just one season. I think it was about 22 episodes.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can look for that.
Upon the success rather of the Golden Girls, creator Susan Harris later devised Empty Nest, as we talked about before we started recording.
Richard Mulligan.
Yep, and who's the main guy in that?
Richard Mulligan.
That was Richard.
Yeah.
I thought Richard Mulligan was the goofy guy next door.
No, he was the doctor.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, he was one to talk
Yeah.
like.
Oh,
Yep.
He had the
I've
dog.
heard the name of that
perfect
show, but
Mulligan.
I don't remember watching it.
The dog's name was Dreyfus.
Yep.
And he had two daughters. One was
kind of hot.
They were both. One was like a rock and rolly kind of.
Yeah.
One was kind of like uptight.
I think that's the one I liked.
Conservative.
The rock and roller. And then there was
They're redheads, right?
Park Overall Park Overall. She was the Southern assistant.
At the clinic or
yeah.
She's the one that I remember. Never mind. It's all right.
Fair enough.
I will look a big fucking
She was
loser
one of
if
the
I start.
100.
She's what?
So
She
do
was
you
one of
guys
the
watch?
100.
It sounds like you guys both watched Empty Nest. Then
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't you?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That
I'll have
has
to-
Wasn't it on like Saturday nights or something? I think.
Are they doing it again?
Tough.
I was
I don't have that information
Yeah.
here. But that was a crossover, and it had same characters from Golden Girls, some crossover characters there. And then a second crossover, or not crossover, but a second spinoff was Nurses. Do you guys remember Nurses?
I don't remember
Swoozie
nurses.
Kurtz? No, that was Sisters.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
It was
know.
later spun off from Empty Nest, and the shows occasionally had special episodes in which characters made appearances from one show to the other. So, and you know what? Well, how do you feel about that fact? I really get to ask you
I
that.
didn't know that one. I didn't know that
But,
was
like,
interesting.
you're okay, there it is.
Every one of these you've
Super,
said has
yeah,
been interesting.
super.
And you know what? I feel liberated to be able to say.
I
that's
still
the
haven't
honest-
said
know.
it. I'm still afraid.
I'm not.
Don't be afraid.
I feel like
be
I feel
very
like, I
afraid.
feel like I could just free ball
I would say go for it. Let's see here.
out into nothing.
After 6 consecutive seasons in the top 10, the seventh season at number 30, the Golden Girls came to an end when Bea Arthur chose to leave the series. In the hour-long series finale, which aired in May of '92, Dorothy meets and marries Blanche's uncle Lucas, Leslie Nielsen, and moves to Hollingsworth Manor in Atlanta, Georgia. Sophia was to join her, but in the end, Sophia stays behind with the other women in Miami, leading to the spin-off series, The Golden Palace. The series finale is watched by 27.2 million viewers, and as of 2016, the 17th most-watched television finale in history.
It is interesting. And somehow she got that hotel from Stain, I think. Miami. Yeah,
is that Pitbull?
No, that was Golden Girls.
It's so weird. Like Miami was like back in this time was a retirement area. Now today it just nobody talks about retiring. Yeah, nobody's talking about retiring in Miami now.
Drug lords and Jews, huh?
Jewish drug lords.
They still Jewish drug lords.
During the NBC upfronts, the preview screening of the show.
Get a little high like high.
No, say it.
I don't get it.
Hey,
high.
Yeah. We've been looking for a vehicle for Biggie for a long time. I think this is it.
Who's my Jew?
Who's my Jew?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. We'll toss that around and see if that's a part of the network or not. During the upfronts, as we talk about so much, they create these pilots, they present them, they screen them, and during the upfronts, they got a standing ovation. The show immediately received a full order of 12 episodes.
Wow.
So there's no question. They said, I've never seen anything like this. All these old women, think of all the Depends ads we could have in the commercial breaks,
or
right?
douche commercials.
By God,
that's disgusting.
Done it again.
Which still run to this day.
The show dealt with many topical issues, such as coming out and same-sex marriage, elder care and homelessness, AIDS and discrimination against people with HIV, U.S. immigration, death and assisted suicide.
Yep. Wow.
All very serious issues.
Deep.
It is. And you know what? We'll talk about when we talk about break down the show, but there were some serious moments in tonight's episode we watched.
Yeah, definitely.
The Golden Girls Live was an off-Broadway show that opened in the summer of 2003 in New York City at Rose's Turn Theater in the West Village and ran until November of that same year. The production ended because the producers failed to secure the rights and received a cease and desist order by the creators from the original television show.
They fucked that one up.
It featured an all-male cast in drag.
Nice.
I'd
watch it.
The Beastie Boys said, hold it now.
You'd still want to do Betty White.
I'd still do, yeah.
6 and 1/2 doesn't have another.
Damn straight. There are foreign versions of this. One of the most modern ones that I think of to the date is The Office. The Office started in the UK, had a very successful run in the US, and around the world. I think Germany had one. China, I think, had one or something. But there were different versions of the Golden Girls.
What's the Spanish one called? Is it like Abuelas Bonitas?
It's Juntos pero no revotas, which means, or Chicos, Las Chicos de Ojo. And that was 96.
Oh, God.
The UK had one.
Really?
Russia.
Worst.
The Philippines. Russia? You don't care for Russia, huh?
That song I don't care about.
Oh, I thought you were standing up against Russia, finally. Finally. Takes a man of your stature. Chile, Greece, and the Philippines all had versions of the Golden Girls.
That's pretty cool.
What was my favorite? I did watch them all in their entirety, so I can clearly say without a doubt that the Russian one, I apologize, Biggie, was my favorite.
Drink a lot of vodka.
Was it all Putin?
Yeah, they were Putin on the Ritz for sure. Let's see. It was not originally scripted for Blanche to have a Southern accent. Instead, it was Rue McClanahan's idea to do so. Blake, you're nodding. This is an interesting fact you were well aware of.
Yes, I'm well aware of that fact. And you can notice that she doesn't have one, but it kind of starts to fade in and down the road about halfway through season 1. So, yeah.
It's a Streetcar Named Desire reference, right?
I assume so.
Dubois? Blanche Dubois.
Yeah. Well, in this one, when the cop comes to her door, he says Blanche Springhood or something like that.
Oh.
He doesn't even say Devereaux.
So it was her married name he went by, or is it her maiden name?
I don't know.
They could play it off if they had to, right? If they made a change.
But I think they made the change to make, because Blanche Devereaux sounds a lot more Southern than Blanche
Springsteen.
When the show first aired, the Queen Mother loved it so much that she wrote to the 4 actresses and asked them to perform the show live, especially for her. They obliged.
At Buckingham House?
Mm-hmm. And they acted out an episode in which the girls visit London on stage in front of the Queen and her family.
Wow. Nice. I didn't know that.
Pretty incredible.
You're stumping me.
I'm sorry.
I'm not talking about your penis.
Laura Garcia. Although there were 4 women living in the house, There was always only 3 chairs around the famous kitchen table. That was strictly due to the limits of filming to avoid either squeezing all 4 shoulder to shoulder, which I would say just get a bigger table, ladies.
But you couldn't. They all had those shoulder pads on.
Somebody
shoulder to shoulder.
Very good
Somebody was
point.
going to have their back to it, too.
Yeah.
And then Bea Arthur was always given the center chair, both because of her height and in order to catch her priceless facial expressions in reaction to either Blanche's remembrance of sexual encounters past, Rose's St. Olaf story, which I don't know what that is. I'm sure you do.
You don't know about St. Olaf?
St. Olaf is where she was from.
Or Sophia's Picture It monologue.
And also in this, since we're talking about the kitchen, on this pilot, there's 2 things I quickly noticed. There is not a telephone on the wall next to the door outside, not the door into the dining room, but the back door.
Okay.
Where you saw Coco go disappear to after making quesadillas. And also that island that they had, once the show was going, there was a large island between the sink and the table, and this was just like a table with 4 leaves.
Mm-hmm. Something I don't think I ran across here, but something I know you've mentioned before, Blake, is that is there not an oven in the kitchen?
There's a
Isn't there one of those ones on the wall?
Right, there is, but the stove that they use, which Coco uses, is not connected to a wall at all.
Yeah, it's just right there.
It's been like that the whole time. There's been many times you watch Sophia making dinner, and it's when you're looking at the screen, there's a dining room table, and it's off to the right it's off to the right, and it's like there's no. If it was real life, there would just be a gas line in the back of it, not connected to anything, because there is no wall or anything.
Yeah, you go through the floor.
It's the weirdest place for that would be. You would think that it would have been on the side,
or the stove would have been that island.
Yeah,
the island, and then because the cooking top would be the island, and the stove was the one on the back of the wall.
During the show, the girls consumed over 100 cheesecakes.
Yep.
That's a lot of fucking cheesecake.
I knew that.
Betty White was the oldest of the 4 main actresses. Ironically, with the death of Rue McClanahan, she became the last surviving member of the cast.
She's oldest, but still alive.
Yeah.
Older than Estelle Getty, because I think they played 65-ish in the show when it starts, and they said that Estelle Getty played 80.
Yeah. Right.
But yet here she is as the oldest cast member.
Yep.
Allegedly, Bea Arthur called Betty White a cunt.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that too. Betty White acknowledges Bea didn't like her and said it was due to her eternally optimistic personality, which she said rubbed Bea the wrong way.
Yeah, and I think that's why that chemistry between those 2 characters, and you saw it.
It's all right.
You saw it right off the bat. That was some real shit.
There's genuine turmoil.
There's genuine turmoil there.
Yeah.
So basically, Bea Arthur didn't like how happy-go-lucky Betty White was,
and probably had something to do with her big, humongous milk
boobies.
jugs. God, they're so. I wish I could just see them.
Just bouncing
even
around
today. 92-year-old.
Even today.
How old is she now? 90.
But yet, in the movie Airheads,
94,
who do they request naked pictures of? They request naked pictures of Bea Arthur, not Betty White.
Because it would just be.
It's an anomaly.
Bea Arthur was built like a.
She's a
linebacker.
Yeah.
She was more just tall and lanky.
It's Maud, right?
Yeah.
And then there's Maud.
Each time the door opens and Stan appears, he would always say,
"What?"
Yep, that's exactly it. I remember.
Each time the door opens and Stan appears, he always says, "Hi, it's me, Stan."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's it. That's an interesting fact.
That's funny.
That's it. Let's hear a commercial for Let's Try This.
Well, before that, let's look. We can see a picture of Betty White nude.
What? All the listeners can?
Yeah.
That's not real, is it?
What now?
I don't know. It just says Betty White nude.
How's this? Just put a link to that in the show notes. Hit a.
Here's Betty White eating a hot dog. What do you want to listen to?
He has that blown up poster size above the bed.
Let's try this. You'll love this.
This is Steph from Let's Try This, your new favorite podcast. My co-host Kevin and I don't always have a lot in common, but we do happen to be married to each other, and we're not afraid to get a little passive-aggressive.
That's just what I think.
Are you serious?
Well, okay, Mrs. Perfect.
Every week we discuss stuff like professional wrestling, reality TV, pop culture, and life as newlyweds, but that's just the beginning. You can always expect us to try new things, hence the name. So buckle up and join us every Thursday for some fun and maybe even some fights on the Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network at fcfnetwork.com and everywhere you find podcasts. Let's try this because you just might like it.
And I do like it. Every Thursday, right here on the FCF
I love
Network.
it. I want some more of it.
I tell you what, I get a kick out of this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I really do chuckle. Like, I really do while I'm at work, because I listen to all of my podcasts while I'm at work. I really do laugh out loud when I listen to this podcast. Yeah. Am I just like have a sadistic mind that thinks weird shit's funny?
Sure you do.
Yeah.
You know, this show that we do right now, we have a structure.
Hey, Blake, what's that you're drinking there?
This one, I'm going to drink the Milltown Wheat.
And I recognize that bottle cap.
From Bent River Brewing Company.
Out of the Quad Cities.
Quad Cities. I got that in my craftbeerclub.com.
I've been there.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done that?
And what, wipe my nose on the mic?
Have you tried this?
No, that one I don't believe I have.
Let's try this.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get at.
Okay.
All right, enough of this horse shit. Let's
well, behind the scenes, guys. This is a party.
Check out all these pictures of Betty White, listeners.
Hey, Jeff, welcome to the show, buddy.
Ass.
Hey.
So let's break down the pilot. All right, there's 7 seasons worth of content, but we're not going to do all that. We're just going to do the first one. That's what we do here at Couch Pilots. All the girls. This is the intro. It goes right into the song. Thank you for being a friend. We heard the intro in the beginning.
It's iconic.
It really is an iconic theme song, right? They got all the girls interacting with each other, a little montage, a great theme song. And then Bea Arthur, and I always forget her name, Dorothy, right?
Dorothy.
She enters the kitchen, and she says she's disgusted with today's youth. She's a teacher.
Right before that, it zooms into, it shows that still picture of the house.
Yeah, that classic exterior.
Yeah, the classic exterior that would start the show, and then there 9 times out of 10, when it came back from break, it was either a night shot of that or the day shot of
Several shows used to do, like Roseanne.
Oh, yeah.
Always did that. Full House.
Yeah, I remember when I went
you don't
to
really
San
see
Francisco.
it as much anymore.
We sought out the front of the Tanner house, and we found it. It's called a Painted Lady.
Yeah, do you want to go find the Golden Girls house down in Florida?
I don't know if it's in Florida.
Oh, okay.
But I know that they're
Hollywood Magic.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, and I do believe that there is. It's like one of those tours that you can do.
Dude, the Walter White House, they finally said
no more pizzas.
They're like, enough is enough. They put up a wall. The people that live there, they're like, we're done.
So people can't come, or just people can't throw pizzas on the garage. Yeah, I heard about that recently.
But you're right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. That's a great
Dorothy coming in. Dorothy was a school teacher, substitute school teacher. Blanche worked at a museum. I don't know what she did at that museum. I never understood it. Rose worked at a counseling place, and then of course Sophia was just
old.
She's just her.
But Sophia did end up working at the hospital as a candy stripe girl at one time.
Is that right?
Yeah,
sexy.
The first thing I noticed about Dorothy, she is the queen of the one-liner.
Oh yeah,
joke.
Yeah.
I mean, every time somebody had something,
it's always negative.
It's always a negative one-line joke.
Yeah,
and I don't think. There's very, very few times where you see Dorothy smile. It's always a smirk or a glare.
She's the Eeyore of this group for sure.
That's
Thanks
correct.
for noticing.
So she's talking to her live-in cook, saying all these kids today, they got the weird hair,
Coco.
their shit. Yeah, Coco.
Okay. I'm super.
We're not gonna. It's gonna be a 4-hour podcast.
I know.
Really, yeah.
Coco, how long was he around? Because I
Just
don't
that one
remember.
episode.
Okay,
I
that's all I
didn't
needed to know
remember
because I was
him
confused.
either.
I was confused why there was a gay guy in the kitchen.
I think one of the explanations I heard when doing some of the research for the show is that Coco was their live-in cook, and they said, "Well, when the girls are in the kitchen, what are they going to do? Just sit around?" So Coco took like an activity, something physical that the girls could be doing away from that. So I said, "You know what, Coco?" And if you watch the episode, he doesn't really do a whole lot.
No.
So I was like, "Let's just get rid of him."
Yeah, I think they had him in there, and whether he was gay or not, I don't think was really relevant. But like you said, he just doesn't do anything.
Right.
And the more when all 4 of them end up living together, like you said, you can't have 5 people in that kitchen.
No.
It's not built for 3.
Yeah, it's got one guy doing everything and girls just sitting around, waxing. No. So she's talking to the cook about how all the kids are disrespectful and tattoos and piercings and the hair is crazy. And then Rose comes in the kitchen and immediately you're like, this is a dumb lady. And that's her charm, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's innocent.
It was such a depressing day at work today.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything good, and Dorothy's like, "You work at what? Where's she work
She's
again?"
like a grief counselor.
Yeah, you're a grief counselor.
Yeah. She's a perfect person to do it, though, right?
Right.
Positive all the time. And then you have Blanche come in. She's wearing some fancy shit. And again, Bea Arthur, Dorothy says something negative of her. She's a super cunt, I think, right?
Right.
Like, she's everything she says is bitchy and negative all the time. It's not. You find out that Rue McClanahan, the character Blanche, is going out with Harry, and he's got all his own hair and teeth, so that's a plus at his age, right?
Would you guys have sex with Blanche? Let's do this real quick.
That is one of my questions: is which one is the sexiest? Let's do it right now.
God, it's hard.
It is hard. Isn't
Sexiest as in looks, I would say Blanche Devereaux. But who would I fuck first?
Yeah,
it would.
That's my second question.
It would definitely be Rose.
Okay.
Maybe I like stupid girls.
Blanche, because she's going to give it up.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you don't have to work very hard.
Yeah, I got to work very hard at that.
I kind of, like as a kid even, I picked up like, oh, she's supposed to be the hot one.
Right.
Yeah. She's the horniest.
Yep.
That,
drives the men wild.
Right? And then second, Coco.
A close second. I like it because she's wearing like deep V's the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
always.
Like she doesn't have big tits or anything,
He
but like
was wanting Betty White to have the deep V.
No, but she has... Blanche wears very low cut dresses, and they're very flowing. They're very. She's always wearing like her nightgowns. Like a lot of times, like Bea Arthur will be like in pajamas, like pajamas
with shoulder pads.
But Blanche always
you might
has
see some nip.
Yeah.
She always has satin, and she's always flowing.
The promise of nip is heavy in the air.
Some
with
old
Blanche,
lady
right?
nip right around the belly button.
But it's like the thing is like she doesn't have big boobs and she's not all wrinkly across the chest, so it's kind of erotic, right? I'm not wrong, right?
Not too shabby.
I think it's unanimous. Yeah. Estelle Getty. I mean Blanche. But yeah, she's going out with this guy, and then Bea Arthur jokes about cocaine, and she's still a teacher. She's talking about. I talked to the other teachers. Some of them are in their 20s. And for a second, I forgot how old I am. I look in the mirror and I see an old woman, and I get confused. And this is one of those serious parts of the show.
She's like, I was having such a good time, and I just felt like I was 20, and then I got in the car, and I looked in the mirror, and I saw this old woman, and realized it was, and then, Rose is like, who was there?
Who are you looking at? It's like, it was me, you dumb bitch. But the show has a laugh track. But in some of these serious moments, it disappears. And it is a serious moment. These are people talking, in their 60s, talking about what it's like to get older and to have to deal with loneliness and aging.
Right. And at this time, I would assume, like, am I correct? I have trouble with this. But wouldn't the baby boomers be getting to be about this age, and that's a prime thing that they're going through, is this, being without their spouse anymore,
right. And their kids are all gone.
That's what any show. That's what any show is, right?
Menopause.
Hot flashes.
I'm dealing with menopause around this house right now.
That's what any show wants to do, though, right? Is connect with their audience. Right. So they're saying, who's our demographic, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, four guys in 2017.
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It appealed obviously to multiple demographics, because we grew up watching it as well, most likely with our families.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't understand at 10 years old. I didn't understand these jokes, but I loved watching this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when I got into my 20s, I got more of the jokes, and that made it funny for a different reason. And then I hit my 40s, and I watch it, and I appreciate it for even a different reason.
Yeah, it's weird when you watch a show like that, and when you first watch it, you identify with like the kids, and then you get older and rewatch it, and you're like, "Oh wow!" It's a totally different show.
I watch a lot of sitcoms now, and that I don't laugh out loud like I do when I watch this show.
And I was worried about that, because
that is a fear, right? When you go back and revisit something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but here's what I was afraid of, because we didn't tell Dustin or Big E that they were going to be watching the Golden Girls, okay? Until you spilled the beans.
Whoops.
And I was worried that I was going to be the only one that was entertained by this.
Yeah.
And you know what? Everybody laughed out loud at least once.
And you know what?
A good show is a good show.
And it was genuine laughter in the audience. That wasn't a laugh track, because there were people coughing and stuff. That you could tell was real.
And Dorothy's one-liners are they're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like another callback to another. She's like Rodney Dangerfield,
Yeah,
with just the way she was negative and her one-liners,
Yeah, I can see that.
I think she was better than Rodney Dangerfield.
No respect.
She so Blanche is talking about this guy she's going out with. She says he's still interested, and of course they mean
sex,
boning out. Thank you.
Yeah,
I don't want to be so crude, but yes,
putting it in her A.
Maybe getting a B.
Maybe when I'm 40, I'll be able to pick up that joke. I didn't get that. But yeah, she's only known him for a week, and she's considering marrying him.
Well, he proposed
she's considering because he proposed.
Yeah,
right. I just considered. Hey, we've been going out for a week. I'm considering marrying this guy if he ever
He's
asks.
like, do you want to get married? She's
But
like,
you
got a week.
But at that age,
time is of the essence.
Time
right?
is of the essence.
So the house belongs to Blanche.
Many men throughout this series, many men
want to marry her.
Want to marry Blanche Devereaux.
I get it. I totally get it. Right, and she's going to get it.
She's a freak.
The house belongs to Blanche. So the other girls are kind of like, what? If she gets married, we're gonna have to move out,
right?
Because we all met through an ad in a newspaper. That's how we all know each other.
I didn't know that either. I thought they were all friends.
I didn't know that until I saw this episode. Yeah,
you guys are such rookies.
So they met as a result of this, and if she gets married, we're gonna have to move out. So what are we gonna do? What do we have for even collateral? A gay cook? Remember that's what they said.
Right.
Anyway, Rose is very worried about losing the house, and this is where I noticed too that the decor is wildly tacky, gaudy, gauche, whatever you want to say. It's awful, right? They're just it's like big floral patterns.
It's very 1985 Miami.
It is absolutely
and
that.
To be honest with you, like one thing I can say about this, and I probably sound like Coco when I say this, but one of the things that I recognize about this show over the time, it's always very soft, like to the eyes. Like it's a very soft
pastel.
Yeah, it's just very soft looking. There's not any darkness or like dark lighting or
like black people.
Like twin brother darkness. Well, there was the cop.
Sorry, Jeff. Dustin said it, not me.
He was thinking.
We were all thinking it. Blanche is widowed. Her husband George passed away. And as we go through the show, we find that Rose's husband passed away. His name was
Charlie.
Yep. And then Sophia. I don't know if they mentioned his name, but obviously he's
not
gone.
in this one, but.
She's got a son.
He's Italian for sure.
And if you don't stop, she'll shoot. I do know that.
So,
what do you think he sounds like?
Hey, yo,
yeah, that sounds about right.
So, now Dorothy's husband still alive? This is Stanley, right?
Yeah, it's Stan.
Okay,
and he left her for a stewardess.
Right.
Somewhere in here, Rose mentions that she thinks she can communicate with the dead, or what she's saying gets to her husband, who's departed.
She looked. I would say that Rose is her husband died the most recent of them.
Okay,
and
it was 15 years. Or
but with the way their relationship was, they're like high school sweethearts. Never so it was a lot
soulmates.
It was soulmates. So it was very difficult for her.
Well, the door rings, and they're all expecting it's going to be Harry, Blanche's date, but it's not. It's Estelle Getty, Sophia. It's Bea Arthur's mom. She shows up, and at this point, this is my favorite character. I love Sophia. She is the best. When I see her come through the door,
it's a bitter old Italian woman.
I love it.
Now, did anybody else notice how bad her hair and makeup was in this first pilot?
Yeah.
It was like very off-putting.
Yeah,
and it's funny because we mentioned that Rose, played by Betty White, is the oldest actual actress.
She was the youngest, right? Estelle Getty, right?
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if she was the youngest, but she was younger.
Real close.
Yeah. The wig ends up being different, and the makeup ends up being different.
She's there because her nursing home burnt down, and she took a cab to get there.
Right,
and she just barges right in. It's like, this is where I am now. Deal with it.
They kind of explain off like right in that pilot why she is the way she is. A stroke.
And her ability, her tact,
filter
lobe is gone.
Yeah, but I just think I think that's just a cop out. I think she's just a little old Italian woman.
See, nobody noticed in that first pilot. Nobody gave her any lip though. No, not even Dorothy didn't even say anything back to her at that time.
Yeah, and in the series
later on,
Dorothy would
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
she just had her old folks' home on fire. I mean, gotta be nice to her a little bit.
She comes and Blanche sees her and she says, "Hey, it's nice to see you." And I'm like, "Who are you?" She's like, "It's me, Blanche. This is my house. You know who I am." She's like, "You look like a prostitute." So immediately she starts in on her, and it's fantastic. And then she calls the gay chef a fancy man. I think several times.
It's fancy man in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's when they say she had a stroke. And then the door goes again, and here it is. It's Harry. It's Blanche's date. He shows up, and he's dressed very well. He looks like
Silver Fox.
Yeah, captain almost.
Oh, every one of Blanche's boyfriends through this whole show, rich.
Yep.
Good-looking old man with money and suits.
And dick to swing.
Dick to swing.
Viagra for days.
They leave for dinner, and Sophia's like, "I don't like that guy. He's a sleazeball." And to me, he didn't come off as a sleazeball, but her wisdom.
She did. She picked it up before even Rose picked it up.
Yep.
Well, and before that, was it before that is when she mentioned or Blanche mentioned to Harry that she was there because her house, her old folks' home burned down, and she goes into this monologue about the fire alarms, which I thought was really good too.
And then here's where you find out that they met through a newspaper for roommates. And I really think that part of the charm of this show is just old people saying whatever they want.
Right.
I really think that's the demographic where it hit me anyway.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Isn't that right? Isn't that the promise of being old? It's like, do I have incontinence? Am I going to fill up my underpants with pudding? Absolutely. But I get to say whatever I want.
Free reign to say whatever the hell
kind
I
of grab
want.
whatever you want.
To be honest with you, my grandmother right now is living that right now. She says what she wants when she wants, and doesn't care. What you know what? Probably.
I'm just joking.
And this is also
champion.
This is do what?
Incontinent world champion.
Oh yeah.
She's got a belt.
This is all. I just bought her a belt the other day. This is also the part where Rose kind of goes into her explanation about how they're all alone, and if they move out, what are they going to do? They were all alone and they met, and there's this bond, and this storyline, this whole storyline throughout the pilot is concreting their relationship and how they're going to go through a lot of shit together, and the basic reason that they got so attached is because they were all alone or missing something in their life.
That is the hallmark of this point of the show. It's several times it gets serious, and this is one of those times. Just I'm lonely. Who's going to be there? My family is gone. They've all moved away. They have families now. What do I have?
Right.
So you're absolutely right.
Next scene. Oh, sorry.
No, please. The next scene.
The next scene is the first time you ever see them out on the lanai.
Yeah.
And that's there's been a lot of awesome scenes on the lanai. That's one of the top.
The lanai.
The lanai.
I've never heard that before.
It's a Miami word for patio.
Deep cuts.
Yeah.
You never heard of it called a lanai?
No, I've never heard that.
Okay.
Rose is talking about her dead husband in present tense. She said it makes her feel better.
Charlie.
Yep. And all the girls, when Blanche gets home, they're like, "Hey, how'd it go?
What happened tonight?"
Kind of for selfish reasons, right? Because they want to know, do we have a place to live?
Right.
She's
like, "Oh, we went to dinner. It was great. We had this, that, this, that,
come
this."
Come on. Yeah, tell me.
And
I can't eat anything that has eyes.
And this whole
oysters.
This whole time
clams.
right now, Coco is freaking out
Yeah,
too.
he is.
He's got his hands on the back of Rose's shoulders, and he is tense to find out what the answer is. Although he's the fucking living cook, it doesn't matter. He's not going anywhere.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Little does he know.
Yeah, he won't be there for episode 2. That's right. Blanche and Rose are invited. Blanche says, "If you guys can stay, Dorothy and Rose,
she says yes.
So you find your own place."
She said yes. I said yes to him, and we're getting married next week.
And then Blanche walks away and says, "I hope I don't get murdered on my honeymoon in New York."
That was weird.
That was bizarre.
It's like Miami's worse now than New York is probably.
So they, I think they're. It's just kind of at night at the end of the date there, and Sophia is awakened. And here I think Coco really does feel forced into the show.
Right.
There's not a lot for him to do, and at this point you're just like, what is he doing?
He's got the same wardrobe as Bea Arthur, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Same pajamas. Now, a lot of times during the series, things happen, like these conversations happen out on the living room in the late evening or in the kitchen. If there's ever a problem and they're all in the kitchen, they go straight to that refrigerator because they're going to get a cheesecake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what kind of cheesecake?
It was never the
plain?
same. It was never the same.
Oh,
sometimes it was chocolate chip. Sometimes it was strawberry.
Now I read an interesting fact that they had over 100 cheesecakes, and from my knowledge of knowing you, you've had over 100 women. Is there some sort of correlation between cheesecake, your love for the Golden Girls?
Guys,
yeah,
they used to call me Cheesecake in high school.
Can we call you that now?
Hashtag
Captain Cheesecake.
Hashtag Captain Cheesecake. So, Dorothy and Rose again are sitting on the couch, and they're very upset. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And Dorothy starts describing about how Stan, Rose said something about how they dated. Her and Charlie dated for 2 years before they got married, and Dorothy's like, we got married because my dad said we had to. And we all laughed at this.
Right.
Because what did she say? She said, you guys had a blowgun wedding? And then Dorothy goes, no, Rose. Maybe if you were in the Amazon. But it was a shotgun wedding. I love Dorothy and Rose.
Great dynamic, huh?
Yes. Great dynamic.
Yeah.
To me, Blanche is just there for foo-foo-ness most of the time and looks. But the real, the thing that I paid attention to even as a kid, I don't know, I didn't know why it happened, but I could sense there was the fucking problem between these two.
Oh, yeah.
Like Dorothy wanted to smack the shit out of Rose all the time, and Rose is just like a puppy with only 3 legs. You just go look at it and go, oh, it's going to be difficult.
It's like they're like yin and yang to each other.
So they go to the day of the wedding, and Rose wants to call it off. She has some sort of intuition, right, about this guy. And Estelle Getty had the same intuition. So something must be up. But still, Harry has not revealed himself, as far as I'm concerned, to be a creep or anything. And Blanche comes out, and she's ready for the wedding. She's in her dress, and she's getting pretty emotional, right?
Sure.
And Bea Arthur, I keep calling her Bea Arthur, but Dorothy tries to keep Rose from like saying anything negative to Blanche about it because she wants the day to go well.
Yeah, Rose wants to tell Blanche, hey, I don't like this guy, and there's a reason why. And Dorothy's like, I don't want this getting fucked up.
Yep. So they go out into the living room, and the priest is out there. The wedding is ready to start, but they're waiting for Harry to arrive. Everyone's there except him. And the priest is out there. He's this big fat guy. He's like, hey, let's hurry up and get these guys' wedding. I've got a bunch of funerals to take care of. He's got
I live in Miami. There's a whole bunch of funerals I'm behind on.
Is that a cartel drug murder joke?
No, that's just a retired Jewish old people coming retiring.
People go to Florida to die.
Yeah.
Is that right?
My grandma goes to Riverview to die. She said, we pulled up in the driveway. She said, well, this is God's waiting room.
Well, he should die a champion, huh?
Yeah, champion of something.
Continent champion.
Intercontinental. I'm just now getting it.
Oh, are you?
You're welcome.
You're welcome, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Then they get a knock on the door, and like, oh, finally, it's Harry. Again, it's not Harry. It's Meshach Taylor from, we said Mannequin, your favorite movie from the 80s, Designing Women.
Did he play a gay in both of those?
All of them.
Was he gay?
I don't know.
I don't know. Who
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Not to be confused with T.K. Carter, who was like the other, like, African American sidekick. I think he was in Saved by the Bell or something.
Maybe not Saved by the before it became Saved by the Bell, like
maybe
the junior high years. He was
I'm gonna IMDb him while you guys continue.
Oh, thank God.
Save you the trouble.
The police arrive, and it's Meshach Taylor, and he says, "Hey, the Harry guy that you're gonna marry, he's a bigamist.
He's got 6 wives in 4 states.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? That's fine, right?
I mean, it's not. At least
it shouldn't be illegal.
If he was a bigamist, you think he'd have gone for Rose? Get it?
Because she's got big tits.
Oh,
titties.
okay.
I get it.
I was like, don't you talk bad about Rose, motherfucker.
Blanche is leveled. She says she wants to die, and then Rose says something dumb, and then Dorothy keeps hurting Rose.
Yes.
Yeah, chokeholds.
She does. She chokes her. She like pinches her, pokes her. She's always like hitting her, throwing her in closets.
One time she, and this happened a lot of times during the series too, but in this episode she's like, shut up, Rose, when Rose hadn't even said anything, but it would be a part where she would say something. Yeah. She would say, shut up, Rose, before she even said anything.
She's proactively being a cunt here. The next day, they're outside on the
Lanai.
Right.
Let's all say it together.
Let's say
Lanai. That sounds good.
Let's say it 3 times into the mirror.
Punky Brewster.
Oh, was he on Punky Brewster?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
They're out in the Lanai, of course.
Lanai.
And you see.
Oh, we're done with that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sophia's out there, and she looks dead. Yeah. She's just like hunched over, like she's like leaning, and her mouth's kind of agape.
And does the mirror gag.
Make sure she's breathing.
Which it doesn't even get it on camera. Like, they got the blocking or the camera cues screwed up because she goes to put it under.
Instead of...
And they cut immediately to Rose, I think, instead of the sight gag of her trying to breathe on the mirror.
Another thing about this was the poorliest written scene of all of them. Mm-hmm. Like, she comes out, Dorothy comes out and she says something about that paper boy because the paper's wet.
It's soaking wet.
It's really dumb. Then the mirror thing really wasn't that funny.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, they're all worried about Blanche. How she hasn't come out of her room in 3 weeks. She might get fired from her job.
She's vigorously masturbating.
If you could, if everyone in the cockpit could raise their hand, if you didn't show up for work for 3 weeks, who would still have a job?
Nobody.
Thank
this
you.
Guy.
Thank you.
I'd have my podcast still. At least I'd have that.
Yeah, there you go. And so then, I'm sorry, I guess I skipped the part. Do you want to talk about Dorothy and her talks about going?
She mentions, how different ethnicities process death and mourn.
Oh, yeah.
She's, it's just
Irish
it's just
drink.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a stereotype.
The Jews sit Shiva for 7 days or whatever, right?
Brr, Shiva. You got a Shiva? Shake. Make the earthquake.
Oh, jeez.
Kick, turn.
Now we're back to Stone Country.
Stomp on.
Oh my God.
Blanche emerges from her depression.
Dreidel.
I made you out of clay.
We have to get the Muttley laugh at some point.
That's
we have
right.
to. We have to get it.
We're almost there.
It isn't a show until
100 episodes of wheezing.
Not only is it
Captain Cheesecake,
the final moments of the episode, it's also the last, serious moment of this show where she says, I had my family when my husband died. I don't have anyone now. I have you guys. You guys are my family now. It means a lot to me that you're here. The only reason I got through this is because of you. You're my family, right? And then Sophia mentions that she's 80 and that she's going to dinner with Coco, the fancy man.
Yeah, they're not going to dinner. They're going to the racetrack.
We thought,
dog
we thought you were asleep.
They're going to the dog track.
Because she's a dog jockey.
That's right. And that's it.
Loved it.
And I got to say...
Jesus Christ.
I got to say, is there any turbulence?
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Is there turbulence if we don't leave the hangar?
Why wouldn't we leave the hangar?
We're flying.
Oh, I thought we were docked and
No. Turn around and look out the window. You tell me what you see.
I've just been enjoying the free drinks.
Every now and then I get
Show's built on the back of his songs.
Callback.
Usually we say this is a show. It had one episode and one episode only. Something didn't work here. This is not the case with this show,
Something
right?
obviously worked and it kept going.
Tons of stuff worked on this.
Yeah.
What didn't work though? Anything?
Coco.
Sophia's makeup.
Okay, and this is just nitpicking at this point,
Yeah.
which is fine because that may be all we have.
Right. But I don't think that if you had never seen Sophia's makeup in the future,
right,
you wouldn't see that it was bad now on the pilot. I'm only talking about the pilot.
Okay, and I trust your.
I would
your
never
judgment
mention the
implicitly.
rest of this. I would make any references to the rest of this.
Well, what about this pilot didn't work? Do you think?
Polygamy in Florida.
That works for nobody except Big Love on Showtime.
It only happens in Utah.
I only found one.
Okay.
I did some research this morning. I could only find one. Research in my mind.
In my mind.
You're unnecessarily disappointed in yourself. Almost
No, I'm
constantly.
not. Everybody that knows me knows I should always be disappointed in myself. One of the things that is some of the jokes are dated, like the time period. Like they don't necessarily hold up.
But that's why we put our minds back in 1985, though.
But
right?
most people don't. Most people don't.
Okay.
We do because we're supposed to because we know that's the right
We're
thing to do.
smart.
We're real smart guys.
We're smart guys.
Let me tell you all the things I loved about it.
Yeah, let's go the other way and say what did work on this show.
Betty White's character was perfect. Just
agreed.
I've never heard you say something with so much love.
Here, this is the thing. You can bounce your joke off of her, and it works. Huh?
Sticks to you.
Real mature, guys. Let's be adults here.
Shiver.
Hold on a minute.
He's getting emotional. He's wiping tears from his eyes.
What else you got?
But she could also make good jokes because she was, quote unquote, the dummy.
Yeah.
All right.
You big dummy.
You big dummy. Can't believe you didn't know what St. Olaf was.
Sorry.
Get your shit together.
To me, it was a groundbreaking show. It was the first show that was led by 4 middle-aged or above
Senior citizens.
Senior citizens.
AARP card members.
What shows since have? I can't think of any.
No.
My Two Moms will be like that.
Yep.
I think it says the storyline is a great episode. Like we didn't get left hanging anything. We learned about each of the characters enough to start things. A lot of times we talk about what happened at the end of this. I don't know, it doesn't make sense or whatever. And then I just all characters were so different.
Biggie, what didn't work? What did work?
Coco, of course, but he wasn't there after.
What do you mean he didn't work?
I just didn't. It was off-putting to me. Not ever seeing the pilot. Not that he's gay, just that it was just there.
We didn't say that.
It's just that he was there.
Do you have a problem with people who aren't gay?
You have people. You have
gay people.
Do you have a problem with white people that are hired to cook?
Well, he wasn't white.
Yes, he was.
Was he?
Well, what do you think he was?
I thought he was Cuban.
Well, white Cuban, same difference, right?
I thought he was Cuban like a sandwich.
It's my favorite drink, white Cuban.
No, I laughed. I mean, I would laugh multiple times, so it just worked. It's just a good show. I liked it.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think
I didn't have turbulence really at all, except for the makeup. But like he said, if you didn't watch into the future with the makeup, you would have never known. If it would have been one and done, it would have just been the makeup. You know?
Yeah, I agree. This is kind of part of the show where I'd say we talked about who's the sexiest and which golden girl we'd have, coitus with. Now we look to ourselves. We look in the mirror and we say, when we look into the mirror and we look back at ourselves, who do we see? Which one of these golden girls are each of us, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I think you have something in your mind already. Is that right?
Are we going to say who we think we are or who we think everybody else is?
I think we should say who we think everybody else is.
What I would love
give
to
them the opportunity.
What I'd love to do is at the end say, no one. There's no duplicates. We're all one of them, and we have to settle on that.
Okay. But should we just get everybody's opinion, or will that take?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you think?
Who everybody is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is difficult.
Yeah.
We're each going to pick 4. One of the 4 for all of us.
Okay.
And then we'll see majority choices, I guess.
Jason?
Yeah.
You're Blanche.
I'm Blanche. Wow.
You're getting poontang on the rakes. Dustin, you are Dorothy because you're a smartass. And you have that dry sense of humor. You won't crack under pressure. I, of course, am Betty White because I say stupid stuff.
You have beautiful tits.
And I have beautiful tits. I'm going to give Jason...
Scott, I believe.
Scott. Sophia, just because he's got wisecracks.
And he's got glasses.
He's got glasses.
He's got terrible makeup and hair.
And I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest.
Yeah. So there you go. Who wants to go next?
Boy. I guess I'll go ahead. I would say that I am Dorothy.
I was going to say that originally, up until a while, not like about a month and a half ago, I would have said that, but I had to change it up. So.
Yeah.
Not good content. I look across at you and I say you're Estelle Getty. You're Sophia. And then I would have to say we have Blanche over here to my left, which is Dustin. And we got Rose to my right.
Did Blanche have sex with a lot of underage guys? I do think she had some. There was. Now wait a minute, because there was an episode where she was dating a younger guy, and she had she was concerned about dating a younger guy. Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken,
that's not why I said it though.
Listen, if I'm not mistaken, I do think that younger guy was George Clooney because
he was on. It
was George Clooney
too. Yes, he was on what?
He used to be on The Facts of Life.
Yeah, and he was on Roseanne for a little bit.
Yes, he was.
But yes, I think he was Booker on Roseanne, maybe.
Yeah,
but
sounds about right.
Yeah, he was. I think that was one of his very first acting credits. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. You're welcome.
All right. I, much like you, I had Jason as Blanche because you're the fucking man whore of the group.
This is not.
All of us are in committed relationships.
Timestamp.
I had myself.
We did it.
Yep.
We did it.
It took long enough. All right. The cough that came with a prize. I had myself, just based on this episode alone, as Sophia because she was the one who was drinking. So I figured that would be who I got assigned. Plus,
gin in a beer back?
Yeah. Beer chaser. Yeah. And she's also sarcastic and a smart ass. I mean, she's
got a killer beard too.
Dorothy's mom. And then Biggie, I had you as Dorothy. You do a lot of one-liners and stuff, and then Blake, of course, is his beloved Rose.
A Rose by another name.
Because we say jokes like Incontinental Champion, and it just goes over his head, and then he gets there 5-10 minutes later.
He's fine.
But wait. We got to remember, the captain is 100 strong.
Yeah.
So I got the captain as Blanche.
Ooh, classy. Yeah, smart.
Because he's 100 strong.
Okay.
G's up, hose down. If that bitch can't swim, she bound to drown.
I got myself as Rose.
Yeah, okay.
Just because I'm stupid. I got you.
Did you just turn into Eddie Murphy?
I got Jason as Dorothy.
Yes.
And Sophia.
Okay.
Wow.
So I'm tied.
So am I.
Right? Because I'm 2-2.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to come to an agreement here.
I don't think we can.
I think we're at a Golden Girls deadlock.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because I was Dorothy and Blanche, 1 and then 2 Sophias.
Okay.
So I guess I'm Estelle Getty.
Okay. So let's do this. It's up to the listeners. Either on Facebook or Twitter. Hashtag who be golden? Who be golden?
Hashtag who's your girl?
Let's who be golden.
Okay, who be golden?
Who be golden, and you tell us who you think each person is. Sounds good to me.
And hey, Heather, do one of your little quizzes, and we can answer questions.
She don't listen to that.
I know. It was a try.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
You got a pretty good idea what we think about this. We're going to rate it in a minute. But what did other people have to say about the Golden Girls?
I would like to know that because I don't.
A lot of people have had a lot of things to say. IMDb, from a 0 to a 10. What's the average rating on IMDb? Dustin, what do you think?
For the overall series, or just this episode?
You know what? Give me 1 second here. I think I have both of those pieces of information.
Because that could be a very different number.
You know,
overall series, I'm going to say.
Let's do series. I'm having trouble finding the
7.9.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 7.8.
Okay.
I'm gonna say an 8.0.
7.8 on the Richter
And you say what?
8.0.
And I'm going to say that...
Are you going 7.7 or 8.1?
No,
You were so pissed when I said 7.8, the look on your face.
I knew it instantly that he had cheated, because he's exactly right. And that's from 24,000... Actually, how many ratings? How many people do you think
I have no idea.
Oh, it was 7.8?
It was 7.8.
Damn it, I was close and I didn't cheat.
24,427 ratings. So this is far and away the most number of ratings we've ever had for one of our pilots, and understandably so. And as you may imagine, a popular show such as The Golden Girls had many a review written about it, but here are just a couple snippets. Tracy Ross from Medium.com says, the strength of the characters, the incorporation of storytelling, and punchlines delivered with a simple facial expression are among the many devices that make The Golden Girls one of the funniest sitcoms of all time, but its progressive message makes it one of the most important. Sonia Saraya from the AV Club says, the show lives on because despite, or perhaps of, its unconventionality, it was fresh and relevant while it aired. And in every way that it matters, The Golden Girls are still quite modern. It's still smart, still funny, and it has 177 episodes. It tackles complicated issues The Big Bang Theory would dare touch. The Golden Girls took on HIV and AIDS in the 90s, employed a gay male cook in the pilot, and even grappled with the idea of a beloved mother and a son with the idea of a beloved brother and son that was a cross-dresser, perhaps even transgender. And it employed more actresses over 60 than any other show on television now. American Horror Story itself, groundbreaking, matches it. Let's see, and most importantly, it introduced the notion that women didn't just expire when they were past marriageable age. These are women who may have been forgotten by society, but that doesn't mean they have to forget themselves or one another. Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia approach aging with determined confidence, sarcasm, and an irrepressible attitude that making the most of the remaining years. So what do you think? You obviously heard all of that. You were excited to see what people said from around the world, Blake. What did you think of the...
I agree with everything.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Now, you can break down reviews for individual episodes of things, and such is the case. I'll give you a few headlines from how people on IMDb said that they felt about just this pilot episode. They say, 7 out of 10 scars, the beginnings of a show worth its weight in gold. Golden Girls off with a hit, 9 out of 10 scars. 7 out of 10 scars, The Engagement. Number 1, A-OK, they were golden. Let's see. There's so many. There's hundreds and hundreds of reviews, and they pretty much, they go on and on just like that. We like the show. You know, this is a great start to a great series. And who could blame them, right?
Right.
7 years strong.
Love it.
Let's see what we had to rate it.
What are we going to rate it?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
Gotta get that button
SCF
fixed.
Local time is 11:11, and the temperature is...
Hi, this is Dustin from Drunken Lullaby.
Jesus, man.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
A lot of changes on today's show. A lot out of the ordinary.
Flip the script.
But you know what? The scale remains 1 to 7. Based on the popular television show from the 1990s called Wings, we take a look at all the characters and we assign them a number. Number 1 is the worst score you can get from Wings. It's Roy Biggins. He's a crappy character. He's a piece of shit.
Ugh.
Greasy.
Sweaty.
I just want to wash my hands just thinking about him. All the way to number 7. It's the best you're going to get. It's Brian Hackett. That's your scale. That makes the most sense, right?
Yeah.
People say 1 to 5. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
1 to 10?
I don't,
that's stupid. That's whoever would come up with. Dude, Canadians came up with 1 through 10.
I'm sure that's right. So, I look to each one of you and I say, what is the score? How do you rate the Golden Girls pilot episode? Blake, I'm going to start
Nope.
with you.
No, I'm going to go last.
Blake, I'm going to end with you, is what I'm going to do. So I'll start with myself today.
Oh, okay. You know what? That's how it usually starts, is with yourself.
That's right. Making the change. What are you? It's okay.
He was in the bathroom looking in the mirror.
Making that change. 1 out of 7. There's not much to not like here. It is so unlike anything we've watched on the show before here. It's unlike most things on television to this day. And they did tackle big issues. They were likable characters, lovable characters. Rose and Estelle Getty are the best. And I always like on television shows when you find a duo that play off each other so well. And you said, that's Dorothy and Rose, and you're absolutely right. Great characters, great setting, great premise. I got to give it a 7.
Nice. I like that score. Dustin, how about you?
I'm going with a 6, which I think is a fairly solid score. There was a couple things, not much, that didn't work. But again, when you look at this as a pilot, could you put this on now with just a little bit of tweaking? And would it get picked up? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because it's a lot better than half the shit that's on networks right now.
And I was just going to say that too. I think it would fit nicely on a network now. It would still fit.
And this is like 30 years later.
Yep. This would be better than Big Bang Theory.
Absolutely.
Yep. More laughs, that's for sure.
Big E, I turn to you.
I'm going to go with a 7 as well. I mean, not like we were just saying, there's garbage on TV that I still watch and don't laugh as hard as I did tonight. Yeah. So it's just a good show. It's just 4 good friends. Well, and
Coco.
And Coco. R.I.P. Coco.
R.I.P. Coco. Did they explain in episode 2 where he went?
He was murdered. He went to New York.
His green
got
card
murdered.
got revoked.
Yeah, there's just 4 old ladies live together for 177 episodes.
Yeah,
it's just good TV.
I agree. And Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you as I have 99 times in the past. How do you rate the Golden Girls?
This score is tough for me. I liked what everybody had to say. I hate to disappoint everybody, but I'm giving it a 7.
Oh, I'm disappointed.
I love it. We can. There was 4 guys sat there and watched it today. 2 you didn't know we were watching it. Laughed out loud on a few things. Funny stuff. They make sexual references, but it's not dirty. And they don't have to cuss, and nobody gets shot.
Oh, my vagina's so dry.
How dry your
it's like sandpaper in there.
None of that shit. It's good.
That's what Amy Schumer and Sarah Silverman and Whitney Cummings, when they do the Golden Girls reboot in like 20 years, that's just going to be like
7 all the way.
7. Fantastic.
7 to get you to heaven.
And with that, we close the book.
On Mason Reese?
On Mason Reese, because we'll never close it on the Golden Girls.
Never.
Ever. But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of 17th Precinct. Here's a little preview of next week right now. And here's a little something to wet your whistle. This modern world story where magic supplanted science consists of 2 non-intersecting stories: the death of a city executive at the hands of a wrongful convict, and the introduction of terrorists who are devoted to the destruction of magic. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or you can go to YouTube. Fellas?
You know what to do, too.
You're goddamn right. Oh, boy.
Goddamn right.
Now, before you guys bid us fond farewell, Biggie and I, it's the 100th episode.
Yes.
We thought this was a momentous occasion, and we wanted to pay our respects and show our appreciation for 100 episodes of fine entertainment that we get to enjoy for free every Monday on the FCF network.
There's a plug.
Jason?
Yes.
What we got you is a solid gold bottle cap.
Yes.
What?
He's pulling something out of his pocket. Oh, my God. Oh, it's so heavy.
That's like
it's a rare collectible.
That's the holy. That's the holy
24
grail.
karat. It's from a beer that they only made 2 of.
Wow.
Much like the Pacheco.
They made 2
They were very big bottles.
Wow.
Jesus drank 1.
And we got. I know people in the industry, and I was able to track this down.
Incredible. Thank you.
And Biggie had a fantastic idea for the captain.
Well, I'm going to put so much glue and so many magnets on this.
It's going to take a lot.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Ancestry.com.
Yes,
what we did was we went to fuckistry.com, and what we did is we have a tree chart of all the 100 women from over the years.
It's, you know what it's going to look like? Those, like a tree that connects all the lines. It's going to look like a fucking spiral graph. It's all like dense lines.
We found out through this. I don't know if you're familiar with the League, but the EBDB, the Eskimo Brothers database.
Yes.
We found out some very interesting Eskimo Brothers from your top 100.
This is exciting.
Yeah, I'm eager to hear this.
Can I switch the gold cap for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
No?
Well, Scott,
one of them,
the one that jumped out to you the most.
Yeah, Luke Perry from 90210.
You had sex with Luke Perry?
No. They
have had sex with
the same women.
Gotcha.
We don't know necessarily which one. That's up to you to figure out. But
this chart is extensive.
It's heavier than the bottle cap. It's made out of gold.
Oddly enough, Robert.
It's on the old computer paper.
Yeah,
it's all perforated.
Yes.
Robert Guillaume, star of Benson.
Ooh, is he still around?
Pat Sajak.
You know what?
And Vanna White.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
Some say you get one, you get the other, but
right. Well, like think of it this way: if I had sex with this person after Vanna White, I've tasted Vanna White.
Yeah,
it's quite possible. Oddly enough, Jason's on the list.
Oh wow!
Really?
High five it.
I'm so glad to be Eskimo buddies with you, buddy.
Me too. I wonder who that is.
Brothers.
Huh?
I wonder who that is. That the tie that binds, huh?
I don't know.
Some of them were at CouchCon. That's all I'm going to say.
There's your DNA cesspool. Boy, that's exciting. Thank you so much, guys. This is such thoughtful gifts.
I'm honored. Thank you very much.
I can't wait to get this bottle cap on my fridge. Fantastic.
It may slide down. It's a little heavy.
No, I said I'm going to put a lot of glue on it. That's what you want to do with something valuable, right?
Right.
Blake, if other people want to say, hey, congratulations, if they want to say, hey, 100 episodes, well done, pat on the back, how can they contact us?
CouchPilotspodcast.com. It's everywhere you need to go. You can email us from there. You can go to all our social media, such as Twitter, which is Couch Pilots Pod. Our Instagram. Loving. I mean, you know what? I'm going to start beating the shit out of that Instagram. I'm going to start tearing it up. So you guys you're okay?
Yeah.
We need t-shirts.
Sorry about that. And where else are we? What?
Twitter, Facebook, yeah.
Yeah. But most of all, the thing we love the most is the dial-in number.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, lay that dial-in number on us.
You don't know it? It's 910-PILOTS-1, 910-745-6871. Call us any time of day. Apparently, it goes right to Captain Philip Rester's phone. I hadn't realized that for the longest time. I've been telling people for months to call in the middle of the night. I didn't know it went to your phone, though. It probably woke you up.
Yeah, actually, the other night, it went off.
At what time?
Do you have the ringer on, or is it on vibrate?
The ringer was on vibrate, but my wife was coming to bed when it went off, and I was asleep. And she woke me up. She shook me and went, Lori Garcia is calling you at 11:30, and I was like, "It's down, don't worry." She goes, "What?" I go, "Down, don't worry, it's Jason." So everything was fine.
Oh, boy.
I didn't get in trouble. So call whatever. I don't give a fuck.
I say still call it 3:30 in the morning. That's the best time, right?
Dial that number.
FCFnetwork.com. We mentioned CouchPilotsPodcast.com, where you can get everything related to this show, but FCFnetwork.com features a wide array of 8 shows strong now, I believe, right?
Running deep.
Yeah. Very cool. Anything you want to find out about the network is right there. You can go to individual sites. You can listen to shows right from the website. It's all there. It's all free. It's all fun. And you got 2 links there now, too. We got the craft beer that we talked about at the top of the show. Yeah, and we also have another link, a special link to Amazon.com.
Go buy the Golden Girls box set.
I haven't bought anything yet, but every time I've visited here lately, I at least try to go through the click-through.
Guys.
It doesn't cost you anything extra.
Today is October 30th. You need to get your asses in gear with Christmas.
Oh, I thought you were going to say with our Halloween costume.
No.
Shopping for Christmas. Best thing to do, use Amazon.com to buy everybody on your Christmas.
Already on it.
And use our link to go through that. It doesn't cost you any more, but we get a little kickback. Every little bit helps. Got to pay the bills.
Yep.
But this is the perfect time. Amazon said, when is the best time for you guys to start this sponsorship campaign? I said, right before Christmas.
Absolutely.
And
makes the most sense, right?
Boom. We're going to make millions.
Merry Christmas.
Millions of pennies.
And then this is the I did have a big announcement at the end of the show, and I wanted to announce that I am retiring from the first 100 episodes we've ever done. So no longer will I be doing those episodes.
Oh,
anymore.
congratulations! First 100 are over.
Well deserved. You earned it.
Happy retirement.
You deserve it.
You deserve it. You deserve it. Because you get it up,
and you do everything in the middle,
and I bring it back down.
That's right.
No, wait.
Nope.
I was going to let it go.
Nope.
I was going to let it go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the future. So I'm retiring from all the past episodes we've done. I'm not going to do those anymore.
Right.
I'm done. I'm done doing that. Blake, anything else you want to say on our 100th episode to any of our frequent flyers?
Not just to frequent flyers, but to everybody. People that have been on the show, people who have listened to the show and downloaded the show, all the people that came to CouchCon. They interact with us on Facebook. I bitch a lot about numbers.
Yeah.
I obsess about numbers a lot. And it's a show like today that I realize it doesn't fucking matter how many downloads I got. We have friends.
In low places.
I got my golden guys right here. Mm-hmm. Let's lay in the immortal words of Alexander Hamilton. Let's raise a glass to freedom.
Raise a glass to freedom. Okay.
And thanks everybody. Thank you, Jason, for putting up with me for 100 hours.
Thank you very much. And with that, this pilot was not rough, and it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
See ya.
I'd want to be ya.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Toscher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.